Let's face it, as Nintendo fans, we are often left slightly disappointed and scratching our heads asking why. Where is our Super Mario Galaxy 3? Why isn't Metroid out yet? Bring back the Ice Climber seriously, and what were you thinking of the Virtual Boy? Well, sit back as Sean Capri and Bobby Pauls do just that. That's right, this is If We Ran Nintendo. Now, cue the music, maestro.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of If We Ran Nintendo. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my really good friend, Sean Capri. What is up, Sean?
Hey, Bobby. I'm really glad that we're really good friends, and hope that one day we can take this to the next level of really to the power of 8.
You know, the other day I said the other day I was watching the video version with Tony, my wife, and the part comes on where you're like, aren't we a little close? I'm like, I don't know if we want to do that. We keep it in the friend zone. Our wives might like that, might not like that. And she's like, go right ahead, do what you got to do. And I'm like, what the heck?
And you're worried about getting divorced, and I'm just like, I'm moving in.
Divorce. She's like, please go have at it there.
I'll live in your bat cave.
Yeah. Listen, before we kick this episode off, I want to do one thing. Well, two things. One is Justin Masson of Nintendo Dads. If you guys listen to the intro to this, he did that voiceover for us. Go check out their work. Go check out the stuff that Nintendo Dads does and all that. Like, they got a YouTube channel, they got podcasts, they got a Patreon, all that good stuff. Thank you so much, Justin. We sincerely appreciate that opening because it is awesome. We love it.
What a voice on that guy.
Yeah, dude. He
just launches into that. I'm like, man.
He was good.
Excellent.
He was
Love
good.
That guy.
Next, I want to thank James Carty Sr. because last time I called him James Carty Jr. and he got a little upset. Apologize. But you put some very nice things this week. We thank you so much. And everybody, like, we got a lot of messages this week, via Twitter, via, Joey, Skyward Knight, Skyward King. I forget exactly your handle on Twitter, but you know what I'm talking about, Joey. Thank you so much. Just really, seriously awesome. Just the love that you guys are all giving us is overwhelmingly humbling to me, at least. Sean's kind of got egotistical. He's getting like rock star status and stuff now. So
hardly. I'm having major issues with even just my friends were talking to me today about some of the podcasts they started listening to. I've been doing this for months and months. They finally started listening to this. All I needed to do was team up with you, and they start paying attention.
Oh, really?
Totally. I was just at a friend's stag today, and he's like, yeah, so I just started listening to this If We Ran Nintendo podcast, and I get really shy. Like, it's so weird that we do this and we put it out on the internet for other people to listen to, but then you see somebody in person and they're like, yeah, tell us about this podcast. I'm like, you guys don't care about this podcast. Like, I don't like, I just pretend that it's just you and I. And I love that everybody has really nice things to say. I'm very bashful about it. What can I say?
So my buddy Joey, Skyward King on Twitter, that's his name. I couldn't get it properly that first time. I had to look it up real quick just to make sure. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to do that and be like, I can't remember Skyward, Sky King, whatever. No, it's Skyward King on Twitter. Check him out. He does videos and stuff as well on YouTube. Good guy.
I'll be right with you. I'm going to go follow him.
Yeah, go follow him. And so two things we got this week. We had two topics leading into tonight. And someone on YouTube, Dalton Conger, he actually gave us an idea for a second topic, which we replaced our second topic, and we are going to go with his instead. So first off, Dalton, thank you. When we get to this question, we'll shout it out to you again. But I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go?
I guess so.
Okay, so the first topic, which came to us last week in between of our two topics, Sean pointed out that we need to do this, so we're doing it. But if we ran Nintendo, how would we launch the NX? The age-old question. So many people are throwing this around, what they should do. We get it all the time. I hear it every single week from Alan. Like, he wants specs, he wants this, he wants that. Like, why are they holding back? All that stuff. So my feeling, I got some strong feelings on how I feel. So let's start off with, when do you think they should make the first announcement?
Okay, so you're throwing it over to me?
Yeah, I'll go throw it to you first.
Okay, so here's my plan. You let me know if you agree. It's all of my milestones are in relation to E3.
Okay.
Okay, so 1 month before E3, so that's actually coming up very soon.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have talked about, last week we talked about the investors meeting that's happening now within a week.
Yes.
So 1 month before E3, call it May 12th, they're going to make an announcement. I say we make an announcement that a Nintendo Direct is coming.
Yes.
Get excited, save the date,
Yes.
cancel all of your meetings.
Yes.
If you're at work, book it off.
Yeah.
Go home, watch a Nintendo Direct. It's going to happen 2 weeks before
Yes.
E3.
Now,
They're going to give us 14 days to get pumped about this announcement.
Now, the investors are going to pressure us. They're going to want answers.
Yep.
I'm going in there and I'm telling them, we're doing a Direct.
Mm-hmm.
All your answers will be answered then. All your questions will be answered then. I don't want to say anything right now, because if we start giving out specs or start saying things now, the internet, the media will grab it and twist it, and we want to control the messaging. Mm-hmm. So as much as people out there want to hear what we got to say, they're going to wait. We're going to do a Direct. Like, I agree. We go into this investors meeting. We tell them, hold off.
We say a Nintendo Direct is coming soon. At that time, we don't say when.
Soon.
Yep, it's coming soon. But we know that it will be on May 12th.
Yes, exactly. And then I feel that we go with the Direct. Now, my feeling is I feel like with the Direct, I'm kind of twisted on this.
Okay.
I got a couple of different thoughts. I feel like I just want to show off what the console looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't...
We're opposite on this, so I love this.
I don't want to name it yet.
Yeah.
I just want to show it off.
Yeah.
I want to show the specs. I might do a sizzle reel of just things, just Nintendo things, but I don't think I want to get into specifics on the games.
Yeah, totally.
I might even go as far as have Reggie just be like, all your old friends will be here, and just leave it at that. Don't even show the sizzle reel, because I don't want people assuming things. I want to be brief with it. I'm going to go a little bit longer than the Pokemon.
Yep.
But I'm going to keep it shorter than a typical Direct. I'd probably go to about a 15-minute mark. And I feel like I'm going to, if it's a hybrid, I'm going to tell you it's a hybrid. If it's, I'm going to say, I'm not going to give a release date. I'm going to be vague with it, but I'm going to give some stuff. And I'm going to say, essentially, I'm going to come out and I'm going to go, here's the console. This is what it looks like. It's not a Wii. It's if it has backwards compatibility to it, I'm going to tell you it has backwards compatibility to it. I'm going to tell you all the bells and whistles of this thing.
In the Direct.
In the Direct. Okay. And let you know what this thing can do.
Sure.
Right then and there. That's my feeling. How do you feel?
So I feel like you have to do one of two extremes with this Direct. And I think that your approach might be too much in the middle, where you're kind of doing you're being vague, but then addressing some very specific issues and specific questions that we have. Mm-hmm. So I think with everything that we're doing with the NX, everything has to be extremely purposeful and very specific and very black and white. So for me, this NX that we're going to have, that's going to reveal that the NX is a thing. I agree with you on a couple things. We don't talk about a release date on this NX. Mm-hmm. We don't talk about price. We don't show the box. The Direct for me is actually more of a story. We talk about let's rekindle our love for Nintendo. Yes. So when we talk about a 10 to 15 minute Direct, and I'm here saying you're not going to say a whole lot. The details that we will reveal will be at the end, but a lot of this will be a big montage, like a sizzle reel, kind of like you said, but a long story of just how did we get to where we are with Nintendo now? Let's remind ourselves of how we all grew up with Nintendo, or even the people who are growing up with the Wii U now. Just pull at the heartstrings a little bit. Let's do that for a good 10 minutes. And just remember, Nintendo is a core to why we all love video games. We grew up with this stuff. So for me, we take a little trip down memory lane. I mean, I like to do that anyways,
Absolutely.
but Nintendo has that.
Absolutely.
That's their competitive advantage as a company is our longevity with Nintendo. Play on that 100%. So we got a good, nice story. We're remembering all our good times with The Legend of Zelda and Mario, and then we've got some of the more recent, like Animal Crossing and Pikmin, and just remembering all these like really cool moments that we've had over the last 10 years. And then at the very end, for 10 minutes, at the very end, very, very teasery, we just say the name. Let's reveal the name of it.
You want to reveal the name there?
We're going to reveal the name, and that's it. No box. And we're going to say, we'll see you guys live at E3.
So you want to go live?
I'm going live. We're making we got to go. This is a new Nintendo. This is not the Wii U. I think Nintendo Directs still have a place for us and for our relationship with fans and everything like that. But so we're going to have a bit of a mix there. E3, we've got to be there 100%. It's got to be a ginormous thing. And then that's when we talk about more things. So I don't want to get there until maybe, I don't know what your thoughts are on that for a Nintendo Direct. Specifically vague.
Well, yeah, I agree. I don't want to tell everything right then and there. I want to be methodical with it. I like your idea. I like your idea of the trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
I would even go as far as to go just be a different type of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because I look at Phil Spencer, and for the life of Xbox, I couldn't stand Microsoft, couldn't stand Xbox, none of that. Never jumped on. Phil Spencer, honestly, makes me want to buy an Xbox.
Yep.
Because the guy just he loves history. He loves the video game history. He loves all of it. He loves it all. I would be like a Phil Spencer. I would have Reggie out there and go, look, when we do things right, we do them better than anybody in the business. And we all know that we could do this better than anybody in the business. But we took some missteps with the Wii U. And we apologize for that. But you know what? We're going to make it right starting now. And all you guys and girls that left us to go to greener pastures with the PS4, with the Xbox One, name them. Come out and name them. We promise you will come back. And you're going to like what we have to offer you.
Okay, so I want to say this as a Canadian. I think that we need to determine who is the guy who's delivering the message, guy or girl.
I think
it is Reggie. I think this is a worldwide thing.
What's that?
I think this is a worldwide announcement, and so I'm not sure if Reggie is the guy or if we have somebody.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, does it come from Japan? Do we have Miyamoto?
Well,
like you talk about Phil Spencer, and I think who's the most likable person in Nintendo?
Oh, there's a lot of people in Nintendo.
Oh, I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah,
you have to choose.
Well, I feel like if you do Miyamoto, you can't. I think it's a mistake. I feel like we have to separate the messages between the three countries or the three territories.
Yeah.
You need perhaps Miyamoto delivers the message in. You know what? I like what you're thinking. I like where you're thinking. But the problem is Miyamoto can't deliver that message to the United States and to Europe because he doesn't speak very good English.
Sure.
So,
but what if you go with my idea where all he's doing is the name? You have the whole thing in Japanese, and then at the very end they have maybe if you're watching the English version, you obviously are getting subtitles the whole time, and then he says just the name of it in. Maybe it's a Japanese word too, so who knows? But I think that's just the thing. I think we should determine, is this coming from Nintendo Central or do you get different directs? I think it's one. I think it's one.
I think because it's a direct, each territory is going to get their own direct.
Okay.
That's the way they've always done it. That's the way I would do it in this situation. You don't want the message muddled.
Yeah.
Don't want people to misunderstand what you're saying.
Sure.
And I feel like when the message has that translation over, it's just not as impactful as a Reggie sitting there looking you in the eye and saying to you exactly what I just said. Like, hey, we come from humble beginnings, and we took off, and we made some missteps in the last generation, and we're here to correct those. I think that comes across better when you're hearing it from a guy, because Reggie has a way to speak passionately to you. And I feel like because Reggie is typically very serious, slightly cocky. So for him to come off humble and somewhat apologetic, not like, oh, we're so sorry, but none of that. Like, hey, we made some miscalculations, we some missteps, and we're going to correct those missteps. I think it comes better coming from Reggie to the United States, to North America.
As you say that, I'm reminded of his speech about Iwata at the Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, I can see it.
If Iwata was still alive, I would say Iwata does it across all territories. But because Iwata's not alive anymore, unless Kimishima is going to come up and do this, but I don't think he wants the limelight. I think he just wants to run the company. I don't think he wants to be in these things. So I just don't see it happening. And then in Japan, let Miyamoto do the one in Japan.
Sure.
And then in Europe, and then in Australia, have their presidents do them. Their presidents of their territories do them. That's the way I handle it. I feel like that's better because it's a direct. Now, when you go to the stage at E3, that's different. You're going to the stage at E3, that's one speaker, one person. And that's why I feel like the name shouldn't be revealed until E3.
Oh, my God.
Because I feel that's the grand spectacle. Because originally I was going to go with the digital event. But if you're telling me you want to, because I feel we could do it this way. I feel like we do both. I feel like we do stage. And we do the digital event.
Sure.
The digital event could run 30 minutes. The stage could last 30 minutes. And the way I would do it is I would just go, we start, so we're done with the direct, correct?
We're done.
We're on the same page with the direct.
I think so.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to E3.
Woo, we're here.
Okay, so we go into E3.
Okay.
And we're going to rent out the Nokia Center or whatever, and we're going to do a press conference.
Sure.
Start off, and it's all NX. Don't show no games. Don't talk games. It's not about games. It's about this device.
I agree.
And now that what you're saying, I'm going to backpedal on what I said. We don't show off the device. We'll give specs. We'll explain what it can do.
Sure.
We'll go through the history, all that good stuff. We go in to the Nokia Center and we show off for the first time this thing. And I wouldn't even show, like, I'd come out, I'd probably at this point have Kimishima come out.
So I have to ask, what are you saving the physical reveal for?
Because I want the physical reveal. I want people to see it, and I want to name it right there.
Where?
At E3.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying you don't want to show the box.
I don't want to show it at during the direct.
I see what you're saying. So the Nintendo Direct that you're doing is before the stage.
Originally, I said during the
everybody
direct.
else is like, yeah, Sean, we all heard him say that.
No. Because originally when I spoke, I said I would show it, but now I'm listening to what you said because you said you wouldn't show it. I'm agreeing with that. We don't show it at the direct. We go into E3. Kimishima comes out, introduces himself to everybody because nobody has seen this guy, heard this guy speak. None of that. I feel it'd be nice for him to come out and just say hello, say his name. I'm here to introduce you to the new Nintendo console, and then
that gets me so pumped.
In that situation, what I would do is this: I'd take it a step further. I would
I'm like on the edge of my seat. What are you gonna do?
I would walk out, and I would, as Kimishima, I'd have Kimishima walk out and say, "I want to show you this, and I want to show everybody what's the passing of the torch to the next console, but it's not my place. We need to go to the person that has made this all possible. The person that has got us to this place. That without this person, we never would have gotten to this place." And then on the big screen behind, I would actually have Mario's face light up.
Amazing.
All right. So now Mario's face lights up. Uh-huh. The lights drop in the theater.
Oh my God.
Right. And then all of a sudden the spotlight hits and out comes Miyamoto. And Miyamoto maybe has maybe even a Mario suit has him on. With overalls.
No, he's got a shirt. He's got a t-shirt and a blazer.
Okay, t-shirt and blazer. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Because I was just thinking where to hide the thing. I think he should have it on him.
Yep.
And then come out. Actually, this is what I would have him come out as. I would have him come out and say, "I want to show you the NX, the next console. But I've always been about the gameplay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reveal the controller." And then, boom, he lifts up the controller, shows it off. At that point, he goes, "For the person with the power, we need to bring our most powerful person."
The power, yes. Bring back the power.
Yes. Then Reggie comes out. Reggie comes out, and he shows off what the console will look like. Because I feel like you need to show everybody to get it through their heads, this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The controller, I think, the reason why I would give the controller to Miyamoto is because, he designed the Nintendo 64 controller for Mario 64. Everybody knows that story. It's always been, whenever there's controllers involved, he's been involved in the making of the controllers because it was always what he felt it was needed to make a Mario game. So that's why I feel like he shows off the controller. Reggie comes out, shows off the console. And now the three of them, the Triforce.
Yeah, they come together and they build this huge Megazord.
Yes. And they
robot.
Stop ruining my moment.
I'm sorry.
I had chills and I lost them now. It's cold in here. That's all. So at that point, once Reggie shows it off, the stadium goes dark. On the big screen again, they show images of it. They show the controller, and then boom, the name comes up. Now, I've got a couple ideas for names.
Let's go. Let's go names.
I feel you call it Super Nintendo 2. I feel like it's got to have that Nintendo name in it. I feel like that was your best console, and you never made a sequel to that console. So at that point, I'm going SNES 2. And that's the way I would. Now, I don't know what you feel the name should be.
I'm going to go along the same lines, but I'm actually going to go a little bit. I gotta simplify. I gotta think about how are we going to name some of the games, because they always follow, a lot of the Nintendo games always follow a naming convention. You have a U after the Wii U games. You have a Super every game. I'm not sure how you do that with a Super NES 2. So, but having said that, I'm not sure that my answer is going to help either. I would actually go NES 2.
Okay.
I would go Nintendo Entertainment System 2. Or I don't even know if I would go with sequel. It's got to be some number though, or X. Nintendo Entertainment System X.
See, I don't. Okay, you could go
NES X.
You could
go NES
NES
X. That's amazing. And then everybody's going to talk about having NES X.
Because then they could just keep calling it NX if they wanted to. Because that's what people want to call it. They want to call it NX still.
Yes.
So I think you're right. I think you go NES X, and that should name your console. So that name pops up.
Boom. Oh, man, that would be so good.
Then they go, they maybe at that point you can have some of the tech guys come out, explain what it can do, go through it, And then boom, they go, now watch our digital event where you will see the games that are coming directly to the NX. And then they leave the stage.
But when's it coming out, and what about price?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Relax.
You're ending it. It sounds like you're ending it.
We're not. It's not ending.
I'm excited, Bobby. I'm excited.
Relax. We need to reel them in. You don't want to put a price up until the fact of you rope them all in. Right now, they're on the edge of the seats.
All right, don't close the show yet. Let's keep going.
So, so now you do your sizzle reel. Not your sizzle reel. I actually would show off games that I'm going to release. That is topic 2. So we'll get into that in a minute. We're not going to jump ahead of the. We're not going to jump ahead.
Okay, I'll take it easy.
Once we've shown off all the games, right? The lights will come back up. Reggie will come back out. Hey, what did you guys think? Are you guys excited? Who's going to take over? You know, you guys. Now you got them pumped. You got everybody pumped up, and you go, the game, the console. You know, this will be our launch lineup. This is what's going to launch day 1. These games. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get it November 18th, 2016, which is the Friday before Black Friday. It's a traditional set point that Nintendo has done forever. They've always hit this date. They've done it with Donkey Kong Country. They've done it with the NES, the Super Nintendo, all of them. There's, I think, we looked it up beforehand. The only one that hasn't hit that date was the Nintendo 64. It's a cherished spot for Nintendo, and that's the date we're going to go to release this thing. Price point, that's hard for me to say exactly what it's going to be, just because we don't know what we're actually getting with this thing yet. I feel like they're going to hit about $300 to $400 for this thing. If they can hit the $300 range, I think they win, and everybody erupts. 400 is going to be a little bit of a harder sell, but I feel like it's a hybrid, okay? But I feel like it's a 2-part hybrid. I feel like this year we get the console, next year we get the handheld. I could be wrong, but that's just the way I've been feeling that it's going to go.
I agree with you.
I think so.
I agree with you on every part except for the date. I think that's too late, just to be honest with you. I know that
you're wrong.
You're laughing. I know you're laughing.
You're
that's
wrong.
Why we do. You know what? I'm not just a yes man, Bobby.
No, listen, Sean.
Listen,
Sean. We the only time we've ever left this date,
Nintendo 64.
That was the start of the decline for us. It did not bode well.
But what about the last time that you did it? That didn't bode well either.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That's not the point.
It matters. It matters a lot. That's why I'm saying this.
That's not the point. You're changing the subject.
I'm on the same subject.
Okay, so go ahead. What would be your? Go ahead.
You brought up the Nintendo 64, and I needed. So we were talking about this before the show, and I'll just bring everybody up to speed. You mentioned this date, this late November date, and I'm like, just in my gut, I feel like that's too late. We know we're gonna have PlayStation VR to draw attention away. I know that there's arguments whether or not that's gonna actually matter or not, but it's another thing. It's another thing. Rumors about this PlayStation 4.5 or 4X or 4K. That's another thing that could happen. We need to get out front. We need to have Nintendo in front of everything else that could possibly happen. We need to go back to the N64 release date. So I've got a note here. In Japan, it was June 23rd. That's a little soon, especially considering we're announcing all this stuff at E3. We can't do a which Sega system was that and it's available now. Can't do that.
Wasn't it? That was a Dreamcast.
No, because we knew it was $99.99.
Yeah.
For a while, I think it was the one before that.
Yeah.
So in North America, September 26, 1996. So I think we go that week. I think we go that Friday, September 23rd, 2016. I think that's when we get the Nintendo Entertainment System X.
Part of me agrees with that, but I'm not going with that date. But I
we can disagree. That's fine. I just want to be.
Well, we have to come to an agreement. It's if we run Nintendo, so we have to come to an agreement here. No, you know what? I think the smart money is where you're going. I know that this is a traditional date, but maybe you release games on this date, and you leave the console. Yes. We release the console in September, and then we have our launch games, and then maybe our first influx of holiday games hits then.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's the other point too, is when you talk about when do you start doing a flood of holiday games? If you're launching a console that late in November, like we talk about holiday, when we say like holiday release, we're starting like that keeps getting further and further into fall each year. So we're start talking about holiday stuff happening in October even. Yeah. So you launch it late September, you have an amazing lineup, which we'll get to, but then we have, that first follow-up game, that big game happening, I guess, just 2 months later.
I know exactly what I'm coming with, but that's fine. Okay, so we're good with this launch then?
I'm great with this launch. I love you set up like the whole presentation. I mean, it's all in my mind. I almost just want Miyamoto to jump out of a painting so we can get to what we're going to talk about in a little bit here. So, leave no questions. No. Even if this is going to be, there might be some parts that are less splashy, less sexy than others, but we need, like you said, what does the controller look like? What does the hardware look like? What can we do? Honestly, I think we go right into, this is the Nintendo Entertainment System live. We're going to boot this thing up and let's see what the whole experience is like.
The one last thing I'll do that I would do is I would have the console, the controller, on the floor at E3 in the Nintendo booths. Let people get their hands on it.
Yes.
Try it. You want the people to go, oh my God, this is amazing. And you know what? The other thing I'm doing is during Treehouse Live for the whole 3 days of E3, they're going to be showing off the games that we discussed, all that stuff. We're going to hype this thing through the roof because when September hits, we're going to sell through the roof. And that's
one thing that we didn't. Sorry for interrupting. The one thing that we didn't really talk about was messaging a little bit. You know what? The thing we need to absolutely hammer home is that this is the next generation of Nintendo. Yes. This is the new Nintendo.
Yes.
Like, it sounds markety speaky. It sounds kind of maybe corny or something like that, but we can't leave any doubt that this is the next Nintendo system.
This is what should go.
This is no connection to old. This isn't a minor upgrade. This is a huge deal. This is new. It's a new world for Nintendo.
Here's what
we can't do what we did with the Wii U. That can't be like this. It's sort of like connected. No.
You do what you do.
This is brand new.
You show a commercial as well, okay? And you go, in the past, we played with power. In the past, we played it loud. Now it's game on, and you just have someone flip a switch, and then boom, it pops up and starts flashing the games. Give them, it's game on. We're coming at you, Sony. We're coming at you, Microsoft. It's time. It's time to take back the crown. And it's time to show the world that we're not to be played with no more. And it's over. This is it. I want that aggressive, play it loud, playing with power Nintendo back. The one that was like in Sega's face and went after them, toe to toe. And I'm so sick of hearing people go, oh, Nintendo can't go toe-to-toe with the BS. Yep. They can go with the best of them. They chose not to because, for whatever reason, they can play with the big dogs, and they could show Sega and Sony and
show Sega.
They already showed Sega. They could show Sony
while they're down and dead.
Yeah, and show Microsoft. It's time. We're ready now. So.
Do we agree on a price? I'm at $299.
Part of me feels like, and I felt this for a while, I would like it to be $299, but part of me feels like if it's a hybrid and the console's at the level of a PS4, a little bit more powerful than a PS4 is the rumors, I'm thinking it's coming in at $399. And I feel like that's a high cost for the console. But I mean, $299 is the best price, but I think it's going to be $399, and then I think the following year the hybrid's going to come in at $299.
So here's the thing. Like, Nintendo has traditionally been about value. The Wii U really is the one where I think that was a lot of people's problem with the gamepad, was the fact that there was this perception that it might be true that it drove the cost high and kept it there.
Yeah.
We still haven't really seen that thing come down at all. So if this is back to basics, that sounds terrible, but let's get back to a game system. I think they can keep the price down to $299 with the ability to add on to it afterwards.
They have to come with stuff. They have to have voice chat. They have to have a solid online infrastructure. They have to have a lot of stuff that Sony and Microsoft have at the moment. And people look at it and go, "Oh, they don't need this." Yes, they do. If you want to win back to hardcore, look at the end of the day, the Nintendo faithful, I got news flash for you people. You're not keeping Nintendo afloat. You're not making Nintendo money. Mm-hmm. The only reason Nintendo made money the past year was stupid
exchange rate.
Had nothing to do with the games you bought and didn't buy, the stuff you screamed about you wanted, and when they put it out, you didn't buy it. At the end of the day, this is what it all boils down to.
How about Star Fox?
We want Star Fox. We want Star Fox. We want Star Fox. Oh, the reviews are bad. That's garbage. I'm not buying it. You're the reason why Nintendo's hurting. They need. It's the truth.
Shots fired.
It's the truth. I'm sorry, but if you're not going to support the company, don't tell the company and tell the people how it should be done and what they should put out. At the end of the day, you have to have people supporting the console, and it's got to, the console. And when I say supporting the console, I'm talking about the games as well. You have to support when they do new stuff and try new things.
That's not what I meant by back to basics, by the way. I just meant we need to let the consumer choose when they're going to buy that second screen. The Wii U forced a second screen upon you.
Yes.
The Nintendo Entertainment System X is going to allow the consumer to add on to it. That's a lot of the reason why PlayStation saw success over the Xbox is because the Kinect was bundled in. That was forced on the consumer.
Yes. No, I'm not saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm not saying forced add on. I'm saying year one.
Anything. Bare bones, $299.
Yeah,
that's why I'm stuck on that.
Because here's what I look at it as. I'm saying, but I want it to be, if it's as powerful, because here's the thing.
That's why I think it can be $299. If it's as powerful as the PS4, which is 2 years old.
Yeah, but I want a real memory system in this thing.
3 years old. You want what?
I want real memory in it. I want a real hard drive in it.
Yeah.
I want something tangible. I want 2 terabyte in this thing, because ultimately I want to try to push people to go more digital in the future. So in order to do that, we're Nintendo. Our games aren't that big, but we got the third parties that are going to come in with these beefy, hefty games, and we got to give them space to be able to download these games if people want to download games to their consoles.
Yep. Yeah, no more of this 500 gigabyte, even a terabyte special edition. I agree. 2 terabyte.
2 terabyte minimum has to be, and that's
here I am saying it's gonna be $299, and we're gonna put a 2 terabyte hard drive in this thing.
It can't be. It's got to be a 2 terabyte minimum. The way I look at it is, if you go with a 500 gigabyte, you could do that for $299. We're gonna do a 2 terabyte that's gonna be $399.
Sure.
And I feel like that's fair. Maybe even 3 terabyte, because you could probably get a hard drive. I would just say whatever's $100. Like, throw another $100 value in there.
Right. So we'll announce the bigger one later.
Yes.
Do base model $299, 500 gigabytes.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I think that's great. Okay.
I'm happy. I can't wait for the Nintendo Entertainment System X to come out.
In 50 years, when we're about dead. Okay. So now let's get into Dalton Conger's topic.
We want to invite people to, before we get that, let's invite people to tell us, how are you guys going to launch this thing? Yeah. What did we get wrong? What do you think what do you agree with
in our launch? What do you feel like we're just stupid and we shouldn't even talk about? Like, let us know what we hit right, what we didn't hit right.
Totally.
But now we're going to move into part 2 of this. And Dalton Conger via YouTube, he posted a comment on the last episode, and he said he wanted to see our launch games. So, if we ran Nintendo, what games would release in the Nintendo NX launch window?
Yeah.
First, we have to designate what the launch window is, and I feel like it's the first year. I feel like it's the first year is your launch window per se. I feel like this is where all game consoles falter. Mm-hmm. Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
This is where Nintendo's faltered with the Wii U. This is where it's faltered with the Wii. Everything. PlayStation was horrible for the first year and a half. Xbox, same thing. We're going to change things. It's got to be changed. It has to be. So, day one, the minute you open that box up, what I feel like this, we're going to bring them Splatoon, Smash, Mario Maker, and Mario Kart 8.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's an asterisk next to Mario Kart 8, and I'll get into that in a minute.
Ooh.
But I would bring those 4 games September. You're going to get
right at launch.
Yep. Right at launch. That's just, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to say, we're giving you these 4 games. You can pick.
All 4.
No,
okay.
well,
okay. No, I'm with you. Yep.
All 4 will be released.
Yes.
The bundle is you buy the console,
mm-hmm.
and you can download 2 of these games for free. And then also, because I'm going to piss people off with this, Zelda U will be available that day for the NX, but it will launch in November for the Wii U.
It's so funny. I wasn't even thinking about the Wii U release. Yeah. I'm so far beyond that.
Well, because
but I agree with
that's
you.
What they did with the Wii and the GameCube. It hit the Wii first, and then a month later, it hit the GameCube.
Sure.
So I'm looking at it as we're going to put it on the big system first because we want to sell that system.
Yep.
And that will help push the sales of that system. Now, you look at it and you go, every Nintendo console has to have a Mario game at launch. And I don't feel like we're ready for the true sequel to Mario yet. Not in the first, because right now I'm talking immediate launch system.
Okay.
So I'm going to come with another bundle type thing, another thing that's coming out of nowhere. Something that you've played before, but we're taking it up a little. Super Mario All-Stars 2.
What?
It's going to have Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Galaxy 1, and Galaxy 2.
Oh my god, I'm so pumped. You didn't tell me this before.
No, I didn't tell you none of this. Remastered.
Oh my god.
Go. I think that's you have to do it. I gotta
drop my mic.
You have to do it. I think it's a long time coming. It's
Super
something.
Super Mario All-Stars 2.
It's something that nobody sees coming, and it's something that the internet would absolutely explode with it. And I feel like that's what you have to do. Now, in my list that I have here, I didn't touch third parties.
Yeah.
So for third parties, I think at this point in September, we hit them with Madden because we have a relationship going to start working with EA. So we're going to give them Madden. We're going to give them the brand new Mass Effect game, if that's when that game launches.
2017.
Is it 2017 for the new Mass Effect? Okay, so then we're not going to give them that. We'll wait for that. But we're going to give them the new Madden.
Within a year. Yep.
We're going to give them FIFA.
Yeah.
We're going to give them...
Give the Canadians the NHL.
Yes.
Canadians get the NHL. Yep.
Get the NHL. We're going to give them Destiny.
Oh.
Because we're going to work that. We're going to work that with Activision. We're going to make that happen.
Here's my maybe surprise for a third party. Mm-hmm. We're going to be coming up on a year for a certain game that was an Xbox exclusive. It's going to be running out on its timed exclusivity around your special date, third week of November.
Titanfall?
No, that wasn't timed exclusive. That will always be
Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh,
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I like where you're
going
going
on both PlayStation and the Nintendo Entertainment System X.
The other thing that I think, which I believe is right around the launch window or at the beginning, Final Fantasy 15.
That was right on my list. Right, I went Final Fantasy 15, And I'm like, wait a minute, there's got to be something else. And Tomb Raider, for me, Tomb Raider seems right at home on a Nintendo system.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just seems to me that just
would be, well, if I'm Nintendo, I'm going for it because I'm going to steal the wind out of Sony and Uncharted sales.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncharted is basically done anyway at that point. So why not grab it?
I want to go back to this Super Mario All-Stars just for a second because I was thinking like
I hit you at a left field, man. You just lost.
But I know, but I want you to just that's crazy. Dude, like that is 4 massive games.
You got to think about it like this though. Okay.
The internet would go crazy if we got a Super Mario 64 remastered.
Yes, absolutely. But here's the thing. When Super Mario All-Stars hit, I remember when that hit. And it was huge. Mm-hmm. Because the fact of nobody saw it coming. It's
arguably the first remastered game, collection.
Nobody saw it was coming. It wasn't just Mario Brothers.
Oh my God.
Souped up Mario Brothers. It wasn't just Super Mario Bros. 2. It was a souped up Super Mario Bros. 2. The only one that seemed somewhat normal was Super Mario Bros. 3 because that was pretty much ahead of its time because that had just launched not really necessarily too long before.
Yeah.
Then we throw in Lost Worlds that nobody even played in the United States before or in North America. So I feel like that was 4 amazing games on one cartridge.
Oh my God.
I can't see why. Because look at it this way. I feel like with Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2, there's not a lot of work that goes into that.
Sure.
You basically throw a little shine on that and that's
right-click save as NX.
Yeah, you're not really. I mean, when I'm saying it's not a lot, because here's what I'm thinking.
Because I'm just wondering who's working on all this stuff right now.
I feel like it's been being worked on.
Yeah.
I feel like Sunshine has been in the rumor mills for so long.
Yeah.
That I really feel in my heart of hearts that they have been working on this. I don't know. The only one that I feel like, ultimately they could just give us Sunshine HD remaster.
See, that's what I think at launch. I think we get one of those. You talk about maybe in a year or two after we've blown our load on this whole crazy.
But again, this is if we ran Nintendo.
I know, but that's what I'm worried about. Like in 2 years, we still need something to play and something to release.
I haven't finished my year 1 list, man.
Okay, I know we've got lots of other things.
We got other stuff. So deep breath. I know I hit you with a gut punch on that one because I came very early with it.
I want to show you where we come to this on totally different levels because I had something similar, but so far in terms of scale. Okay. I'm thinking and I only just need to say this and we'll get back to yours because this is nowhere near as big. Super Nintendo SNES remix. So we had the NES remix games. We had those whole collections and everything. Mm-hmm. I think we have an SNES remix on this possible. One. So that's my going back, but kind of having a refresh. But you're going for massive games.
But for me, I feel like Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 aren't that far removed. It's not a big thing. Essentially, you could get all these games in the Virtual Console except for Sunshine. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel like Sunshine is coming. But
I agree with you. on that. I feel
like Mario 64 needs some work. It's a hot mess. Seriously. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Galaxy 1 and 2 doesn't need as much massaging as 64. 64 needs a lot of work. It needs camera work.
Yes.
So
and you take out C buttons and just free cameras.
But at the end of the day, I feel like if you did that, this is me. If you did that, you're bringing the hardcore back because they're going to freak out for that. They want that. They want everybody's earliest memories of this generation that are buying systems is Mario 64. Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine is it. They're the be-all, end-all. Boom. That's where it is. Now, the one thing that I would probably do for Galaxy, because we're getting away from motion controls, I'd probably fix the controls so that we could just use a traditional controller.
Sure.
As opposed to the nunchuck and the Wiimote.
Yep. That's easy enough.
Okay, so that's that.
All right.
Now we're going to start moving into the year a little bit. All right, so we're going to cross over the year. We're going to move into 2017. We're going to announce and give Metroid. But this might upset some people. We're going to give him a third-person Metroid. Because I really don't feel like Retro's been working on Prime. So I feel like a third person with some strong voice acting and really taking off with this. But I feel like the next Metroid's got to hit this year, the first year. Because the whole strategy that I have in my list is winning back the hardcore.
Yep.
And I feel like Metroid will bring back the hardcore. Now, also, part of my fear, though,
more symbolic than anything, because there's not a lot of, like, we know that Metroid doesn't sell a whole lot, so it is symbolic in a way, but it's not necessarily going to bring back numbers just for Metroid. Yeah. So it is like, we have to talk about things as being larger than the
But I also got to worry about, shooting off my quick. I gotta go slow. Luigi.
So what time period are we in now?
We're in, like, I'd say January to March area.
Okay, so I've got a couple still within the year, but we talked about right at the launch. We talked about some of the things with the bundle. I mentioned Rise of the Tomb Raider in that kind of November-ish time. A couple other things before the end of the year. I think that we see a Persona 5 version.
You think that's going to come?
Even as I'm saying that, I'm not sure if it's a Sony exclusive.
Yeah, I think it's a Sony exclusive. I don't think you're getting that away.
Okay, so maybe we see the new Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem crossover.
And move from the Wii U.
Come over.
It's possible.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm saying this out loud. This is why I say things out loud to hear.
I don't think that works at all. You have anything else that you had in that early?
I have a Pikmin game and a Pokemon game, but I don't know where I put those.
I feel like they got to come later in the year.
Out?
I think they got to come a little bit later in the year. Now
we just heard about Pikmin 4 so long ago, and it seems like it's going to be.
We just heard about it a couple months ago. So I mean, it's possible that it hits early, but I feel like, I think that could hit in January. I think Pikmin 4 could hit January.
Pikmin would be a nice February game.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I'm figuring Metroid would probably be a March game. I'm probably going to come in at May with Luigi's Mansion 3.
Okay.
Now, the one thing that I want to go back to real quick is I feel like this console needs to thank and support the indie developers strongly for all the support that they gave us on the Wii U. I'm going to Yacht Club, to Image and Form, to 13 AM, to all these companies, and I'm going, we want Shovel Knight, we want SteamWorld Heist, we want Mutant Mudds, Runbow, Adventures of Pip, all these games, we want them ported over immediately. I probably want them day one.
Yep.
And I want, with Shovel Knight, I want all the DLC, everything there. But I would definitely make that happen.
I agree.
That would be another day one thing that, like, when that console launches, bring in, Shovel Knight with all the DLC, and hopefully the next wave of DLC is there to give people. And I probably, to be a little special, be like, hey, we're going to give you Link to play with in this game.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Seriously. Because you think about it, like, Xbox, they got the Battletoads, and then, Kratos was on Sony. Mm-hmm. Why not? Give him Link and say he's an exclusive to the NX. I think it helps. I think it really helps. And then for me, in the summertime, I'm coming with Kid Icarus or a new Punch-Out game.
I think Kid Icarus might actually... See, I know you love Punch-Out. I don't know if the Wii Punch-Out did what it maybe was supposed to do. Like, I just don't know.
But I feel like this.
It's a good game for that time spot, for sure.
I feel like that when Nintendo sells consoles, because that's my hope. My hope is that we've sold a bunch of consoles in the early part of the year. Mm-hmm. When Nintendo sells consoles, we get all the crazy games. That, like on the NES, sold a lot of consoles, got all kinds of games. Super Nintendo, we got a sequel to Punch-Out. We got, Metroid sequel. We got all this stuff. The Wii sold through the roof. We got the Return to Punch-Out. That's why the Kid Icarus one, I don't think we would get. But same time, I think that I'm looking for hardcore games. And I feel like those two games are for the hardcore fans, and they would bring fans over. I got a wrap up for the year, but do you have anything to fill out the year?
I'm thinking about, so the other thing that we haven't really mentioned is just about the third party stuff that's really coming out throughout. And so it's almost like, for me, it's almost a given that these games are just going to be coming out. So all of the South Park Fractured But Wholes are coming out for the system as well. So absolutely. We're really just talking about like what is the first party.
I'm basically looking at the Nintendo first party exclusives that you're gonna hit. And I know the biggest response that people are gonna say to us immediately is that's too much. You're giving too much. But I feel like I'm saying to you. But I feel like you have to. You have to come back and almost apologize for your shortcomings with the Wii U. And how do you apologize? You make good on a promise that this is a new Nintendo and we're coming with some solid stuff. Because here's my thinking. If it is a hybrid system, which we both agree that we think it's going to be, you're basically eliminating your handheld market and your home console. Now you have double the teams working on games. And that's basically what I'm looking at. Some of this stuff I think could potentially go second year, third year, whatever like that. But I think this is, in a nutshell, I think at some point some of these games I'm even talking about might even just get announcements this year.
Right.
I could be wrong on what we're getting this year, but I'm pretty sure that we're getting a lot of this stuff. I think we're definitely getting a Metroid game on this console. I think we're definitely getting Luigi Mansion 3. I think we're definitely getting Punch-Out. I think we're definitely getting something out of that Super Mario All-Stars. We may not get – we'll probably get Sunshine out of it, with Nintendo. All right, let's wrap this up because we're getting to the end. I'm just going to go with my final games that I have, and this would be at the end of 2017, holiday 2017.
Yep.
Super Mario Galaxy 3. And the reason why I put an asterisk on Mario Kart is Nintendo Kart. Now, I say Nintendo Kart because anybody that played the DLC, why are you shaking your head no?
I don't agree. I think you stick with Mario Kart. I think you stick with the name. But I see where you're going with this.
Well, I think it's either Nintendo Kart or Smash
evolving.
Kart.
Yep.
Yes.
No, I see what you mean.
Yeah. It's either Nintendo Kart or Smash Kart, and you're going to have all your other Link is going to be in it, and all your characters. You're going to have Samus in it. You're going to have Captain Falcon. You're going to bring all these guys. You're going to take Mario Kart to the next level. You think about it. Every single time they put a Mario Kart game out, it's stepped it up a notch. It's taken it to the next level, and it's done something different than what else do they have that the karts can do that they haven't done? They're going to become boats. They're going to become. No, you got to take it to the next
Sonic
level.
Racing.
Yeah, no, that's nonsense. We're going to take it to the next level. We're going to call it Nintendo Kart or Smash Kart, one of the two. Doesn't matter. And it's going to be, you could call it Mario Kart if you wanted to.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's going to have all these characters in it. We're going to do tracks from different places because I think if you did that day one, not DLC packs, people are going to die.
Oh, man.
I'm spent.
I know. Well, that's the thing about this whole plan. Now
you're getting all down, man. Come on.
I'm a little down.
Why? Why are you down?
I'm exhausted. That
E3 thing kind of wore me out. I was like, damn.
No, it's your Mario All-Stars. It's your Mario All-Stars plan.
Listen,
I don't think we get some of the big games until year 2, year 3. I don't think Mario Kart happens until then.
Stop. Slow down. Okay.
I am slowing down. You're the one throwing.
No, listen to me.
You're one.
Listen to me. Okay, let's get realistic with my list. Okay.
All right.
I'll go through with a realistic list. Okay. I was kind of putting a lot of crazy stuff. I admit. I probably overshot it.
I gotta rein you in a little bit. Here.
Okay, you're rein me in. All my stuff that I said day one, that stays the same.
What? Oh yeah.
You know, I feel like out of the All-Stars, you're going to get Super Mario Sunshine HD remake. Okay? The rest of the stuff you're not going to get. You may get it on the virtual console. I think we get an announcement about Metroid. I think we get Luigi's Mansion 3. That's no doubt about it. We definitely get that game. I think Kid Icarus and Punch-Out doesn't come till about year 2, year 3. All the indie games, that's day one. Mm-hmm. And then Galaxy 3, definite by the end of the 2017. The Mario Kart is probably year 2 or 3.
I'm torn on what the next 3D Mario is going to be, if it's going to be a Galaxy 3 or if it's going to be a 64-2. Like if we go back to jumping in and out of paintings.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Cool.
I could see us going back to that for sure.
So we're going to wrap this up. We're done.
Okay.
It's over.
Well, I'm sad like always. I don't like it. I don't like it when we're done. Well, but I guess that's it.
We could go tomorrow if you want.
It's over.
So
no, we need feedback from everybody. We need everybody to tell us what you guys think about this lineup. There's probably something.
There's a lot of games where I'm sure that people are going to say you're crazy, Bobby, and that's fine. I wholeheartedly expect that. But what would you want to see within the first year? That's what I want to know. What do people want to see in the first year? Tweet it to us. Leave a comment below. Whatever. We're open to it. And is there something you want us to discuss? Leave a comment or tweet us with that too. Because I really liked the community interaction. This was awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
It was great. It was great of Dalton to throw at us. So, I have some ideas for the next show, but we're not going to hold off on that. And unless something drastically changes, we are going to do one. The one that we skipped tonight.
On Tuesday, they're going to announce the Nintendo Entertainment System next.
I know, really crazy. The topic we were supposed to have that we let go was, would we carry on Mario Brothers in a 2D world, in a 2D realm?
Yeah.
And if we did, what type of art style would we take on? So we will have that next episode. But if there's another topic that you think coincides with that, throw it at us. Or if there's something else you would like to hear us talk about, throw that at us. Otherwise, we'll come up with our own topics. Not a big deal. So that's it. Thank you guys for listening. You can listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud. Still haven't heard anything about Google Play. They're playing hard to get with us. You can watch this video on YouTube.
You can see my shirts.
Yes. Sean's got a new shirt.
It smells nice. It smells really good. If you guys like to watch me sniff my shirts, you should watch the YouTube video. You're missing out right now. I just cried.
You can follow Sean at Sean. Oh my God!
Holy, let me take this.
You take that. Go ahead.
Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. I'm on Twitter. I do a weekly podcast called We the Gamercast, where we have sweet hangs with strangers from the internet every week. I'll have Justin Masson on by the time that you hear this, actually, and then the following week I'll have a new guest. So We the Gamercast is the podcast there, and also doing a new movie podcast for We the Nerdy. It's called Nerdflix and Chill. So go check that out. It's on YouTube for now. We're waiting for iTunes approval. So cool. Coming soon.
Good.
To an iTunes near you.
I've got the Geekcast, which that airs on Sundays and Mondays on all over the place. And then Ink Strike Podcast is actually going to air now. It's actually up now. And then Monday on the YouTube channel. I got my YouTube channel, Nintendo Guru. I'm putting videos up like crazy, like a madman. I just filmed like 6 videos today. I got to get prepped for Mother's Day, and I don't want to miss any time away from doing these videos for people because I love it. So follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. Peace out, Cub Scout.
AB, see you later.